Maximizing Moments with Milton. Welcome to this audio experience. Hey, Maximizers. Our theme this month is relationships, and I'm interviewing Bill Ferguson, who has a website called themasteryoflife.com, and he shares some really good nuggets, being a divorce attorney, about how to end conflict, how to isolate situations within relationships so you're not, number one, responding out of character, but responding in kindness and love. And I really want to share this interview with you. This is part one, and I'll share part two in the following week, but please, thanks for joining me and listening in to this episode. Hello, Maximizers. Welcome to this episode and this two-on-one interview with Bill Ferguson. Would you say hello, Bill?
Hi there.
Just a little bit about Bill's background before we jump into this conversation, which I'm so excited about, guys. Bill's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to relationships and when it comes to tapping into the things that maybe hold you back and keep you from your flow. But just to read a little bit about Bill's background, Bill started his career as a divorce attorney. He soon gained national attention for his ability to take the conflict out of divorce. 15% of his clients never divorced, and the ones who did were able to part as friends. His focus was on healing relationships. He showed his clients how to end the conflict and the restored love, not as husband and wife, but as one human being to another. In 1985, he closed his law practice and devoted his life to showing people how to heal relationships and have their lives be great. He has since been featured on Oprah and recommended by the Wall Street Journal and the Washington Post. His approach to life has been called the penicillin of psychology. Wow, that is awesome, Bill. Would you share a little bit more insight to your background as I read up to so far?
Well, I started out as a divorce attorney, and my focus as a divorce attorney was to have my clients heal their relationship, not as husband and wife, but just one human being to another. And it was a rare opportunity because I got to see relationships in a way that people don't get to see them.
And I like that.
And
I like that.
Yeah, and one of the things I discovered was that on the surface was all the anger and the resentment and the upset and all the junk. And then always, always, always what was underneath all the upset was a tremendous amount of hurt. And always what was under the hurt was the love. We wouldn't be upset if we didn't care. So what became real obvious is that love never is enough to have a relationship work. The divorce courts are full of people that love each other. So the thing that I saw is the thing that makes the difference is not the love, it's the experience of love. So if I interact with you in a way where you feel loved, our relationship will be great. If I interact with you in a way where you feel unloved, our relationship will be a mess.
So true.
So it's all about creating that experience of love.
I love that, and I love that. No pun intended. But the understanding is, and when you began with that, is that not looking at it at each of those individuals as husband and wife, but as a human, one human to another human. And I think that takes on a whole different perspective of a relationship if you drop the additives of what husband and wife are and look at each other as individuals, as people. Then you can. I think for me, just listening to you right now makes me feel like I can look at the other person a little bit differently, more objective, I guess, and look at the situation as it is versus, oh, this is my wife and this is what she's done, or vice versa.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot of work with couples, and I tell them that what's important is not whether you're together or not, because some people shouldn't be together.
True.
The thing that's important is to end the conflict, heal the hurt, and restore the love, not as husband and wife, but as one human being to another. When you put the focus on the love, one human being to another, and don't worry about the form will always evolve to a state that's perfect for the two people. But in our culture, instead of putting the focus on the love and forget the form, we put the focus on the form and forget the love. And when you do that, you destroy the form and you destroy the love, and you prevent the relationship from evolving to a state that's perfect for the two people.
Wow. Wow. So, and in your experiences, Bill, when you talk about the conflict, what are the initial steps to resolve the conflict or to stop the conflict?
Okay, well, let's first, to answer that question, let's look at what creates and destroys love.
Okay.
Okay, if I interact with you in a way where you feel loved, our relationship will be great. What creates the experience of love is giving the gift of acceptance and appreciation. Mm-hmm. And acceptance is nothing more than surrendering to the truth. You're the way you are, whether I like it or not. I can love the way you are. I can hate the way you are. It ain't going to change a thing because you're still you.
Right.
If I can let you be the you that you are anyway and add a little appreciation, as I give acceptance and appreciation, you feel empowered. You feel better about yourself. You feel better about life. Your walls of protection come down around me because you don't need them. And then notice automatically, as I accept and appreciate you, automatically you accept and appreciate me. When you give love, love comes right back.
It does.
And then I feel empowered. I feel better about myself and my life, and then I feel better about you. You feel better about me. I feel better about you. And then we create this cycle of loving, supporting, and empowering each other that brings out the best in everybody.
So why do you think... And go ahead.
Okay, and that's how most romantic relationships start. But they don't stay that way. The reason they don't stay that way is because it's just a matter of time until somebody's hurt from the past gets triggered. So I got this relationship with this lady, sparks are flying, everything's wonderful, and I've got all my hurt from the past, all that childhood hurt of feeling worthless, not good enough, not worth loving, all that stuff. My hurt gets triggered, and incidentally, it's going to get triggered no matter who I'm with. No matter how wonderful she is, she'll never be wonderful enough not to trigger it. It's like a bad sunburn on your back. Something's going to touch it. So when this hurt gets triggered, I'm not going to notice that I've got a hurt triggered. All I'm going to notice is what triggered it, which is her. So I'm going to perceive her as a threat. And in an automatic subconscious defense mechanism, I'm going to become non-accepting, judgmental, critical. You need to change. What's your problem? What's the matter with you? And as I become non-accepting, you get hurt, you get upset, you put up your walls of protection, and then you give it back to me, and then I get more upset, and I give it to you, and you give it to me, and I give it to you. And instead of creating a cycle of loving, supporting, and empowering each other, we create a cycle of conflict, a cycle of hurting, attacking, and withdrawing from each other. Instead of bringing out the best in each other, we bring out the worst. And that's what happens whenever you've got a relationship that's not working.
Wow. I love that, the acceptance piece. And why do people have a hard time accepting others as they are?
Well, part of it is our culture. You know, we're taught that happiness and upsets come from outside of us. We're taught that we need to make the circumstances of our life be a certain way. So I've got a relationship with her. Well, I'm going to try to turn her into how I want her to be. But I don't realize that destroys love and makes everything worse. So our culture teaches us everything we need to know about how to mess up our relationships. The other thing is that we have all this hurt that gets triggered. See, when we get upset, and upset is a state of mind.
Yes.
No circumstance has the ability to create an upset. All a circumstance can do is strike a nerve that's already there, and that's why different people get upset at different things.
Right. I call it as a mirror. Yeah, the circumstances are a mirror to what's inside of you. Right.
Exactly. So when we get upset, what's really happening is the circumstance is triggering a suppressed emotion that's already there. But it's the emotion that's the threat, not the circumstance that triggers it. But we misperceive the threat. We think the threat is the circumstance, the other person. So then we have to fight the threat. We fight, resist, hang on, withdraw. And what we do without realizing it is instead of creating the love and the happiness that we seek, we destroy it.
Right. Right. I love that. Then you can isolate each circumstance and really be at peace. And I think that's what the circumstances that do trigger that emotion or the hurt inside of us, it does. I believe it stills our joy, our joy for life and joy for living, and joy for others. And if we can maximize, if you can isolate circumstances like Bill's talking about, you can more effectively pursue the right course of action in that situation. And like you said, then you can be more accepting and then you can be more appreciative of the person or the opportunity or the circumstance that's right in front of you. And so I really love that.
Yes.
I love that. Maximizers, I hope you've enjoyed this particular section on ending conflict with Bill Ferguson. Please pass this along and join me for the next podcast, the part 2. You don't want to miss that one. Join me for part 2 with Bill Ferguson, Mastery of Life. It will change you. I guarantee it. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.